your heads. Dear gracious Heavenly Father, we are so grateful for the start of another year. Father, I just ask that you go before all of these students and eliminate any anxiety that they might have. Allow them just to come into school with an open heart and an open mind so that we can fill them with your spirit, and along with that great spirit, a lot of academic knowledge that will be useful for them as they grow. For all of the parents here, Father, I just thank you for them. Thank you for the sacrifices that they are making to send their kids to a Christian school. It's not easy today. Father, I ask that you come alongside each one of these parents and give them the strength to be able to make hard decisions with their kids throughout the course of a year. And just allow them to come together with our staff here so that we can work together to create the next great followers of you as they grow to be young men and women. Father, bless this time together today, and we ask these things in your son's precious name. Amen. All right, well, I am going to turn this over to our director, Mrs. Painter, and ask you to give her a big round of applause.
All right, if you're just in the back hallway, go ahead and come and file on in. Find a seat. We're going to get started here. Thank you so much for all being here today. It's so exciting to see all your faces and see how much all the students have grown. I feel like they all shoot up like 5 inches over summer. So that's awesome. So first, I'm going to start with something fun that we do in junior high chapels, which is honor birthdays. So we're going to honor some summer birthdays. Students, if you're here, come on up to the front, and we'll sing you happy birthday. So I have some June birthdays. I have Brooklyn Sis. And Anastasia. And George. Yep, he's here. Erica Holtz. These are homework passes that I'm handing to the students. There we go. Kana. Yeah. Andrew and Tyler. Yeah, it's okay. Here we go. Toby. Is Toby here today? Yes, no, maybe so. Julia, I know I saw her. Hi, Toby. Welcome, happy birthday. And then Haley. Haley L. Okay. I have Gia and Zach. Tanner. These are our July birthdays. Brendan. I really hope I say this correctly. Is it Sion? Okay. Grace. Oh, she's here. Hello, welcome. Did I say that right? Okay, I'll work on it. Grace. Emmy Lou. Blake. Ben. You're welcome. Lola. Lola here. Naomi. Noah. C. Okay, and then our August birthdays, we have Araya. Landon. Both Landons. Landon G and Landon H. Asher. Kelsey. Naturally, makes sense. That would make sense. Now Kona. Sorry. Here we go. All right. Sophia B. Ashley B. Sienna Benson. Sophia. CJ. CJ's birthday is actually today. So extra happy birthday. Taylor, Olivia, and Brielle. Okay. All right, if we can all sing happy birthday to our summer birthdays, that would be super appreciated. Here we go, 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Summer birthdays.
Happy birthday to you.
Okay, they get a leg up because they get the birthday pass first thing in the year, so they get to use their homework pass one all year long. Us May babies, we have it a little rough, but it's okay. All right, I'm Mrs. Hager. I am the junior high director. I have been at Grace Christian School since I was in kindergarten, and I loved it so much. I came back to teach and pursue a career in education. So I have been teaching on this campus now for 9 years. That includes being in the Learning Center. I was down in kindergarten for a while. This is going to be my 5th year up in junior high. I was also the summer camp director for a number of years. I'm our National Junior Honor Society director, and I'm also our social studies teacher. So if you have a question, anything GCS related, I can probably answer it. So your kids are in great hands, or so I like to think. I am married. I have been married for coming up on 2 years now, and we don't have any babies yet. To travel, and we love being aunties and uncles to our amazing little nieces. And then we have twin nephews summer, so we're excited about that. Switch over. We can switch over to the slides.
Okay. That's you.
Okay. Let's go through here. That's my husband. There he is. His name's Tyler. Okay, so our goals at GCS is to make sure that your students leave here academically prepared, spiritually equipped, and responsible citizens. So throughout the school year and your children's time here at Grace, those are the 3 goals that we are trying to focus on. So we make our content rigorous. We want your students to achieve mastery learning and retain the information that they're learning. Spiritually equipped, we pray every day in class. They attend Bible class. They attend weekly chapels. We are teaching from a biblical world perspective, not a secular world perspective. So what does the Bible say about science? What does the Bible say about history? So on and so forth. And then responsible citizens. Our goal is to prepare your child for high school, college, and beyond. So a big thing we like to focus on here in junior high is independence, and allowing them to grow so that when they do branch off into high school, they are able to be successful. And so taking ownership of one's self, actions, learning, relationships, and life skills. Okay, so as I mentioned, I wear a few hats on this campus. So my role as director is that I oversee all things junior high. You all will be receiving an updated copy of the junior high handbook within the first week of school. That will come home. I highly encourage that you all read through it cover to cover so you have all the expectations of yourself and child. We do spend the first 6 days of school going through the entire handbook with the students. So we are on chapel schedule for the first 6 days of school. And the students, we are in rallies, so we like to play some fun games, and then we also go through the nitty-gritty of what our expectations are for the year. There will also be a signature page that will come home with the junior high handbook. You and your child will need to sign that, and it will get returned to me and kept on file. That's verification that you have read and agree to uphold the policies and standards that are outlined in the junior high handbook. So that signature page, it's actually probably not going to be on the 3rd. I'll give you a better date for that because we are working on getting those printed. Behavior. I love being a teacher. I got into education to be a teacher. And as I have grown in education, I have moved into administration and kind of like a police officer, if you will. But part of that is managing students' behavior and making sure that we have a safe and constructive learning environment, right? So my job in administration is to uphold that goal. And so I like to take a fair yet just approach. And the administrative team does compose of myself, Dr. Pettinger, and then Mr. John Girius, which Am I allowed to announce? Yeah, okay. This is going to be Mr. J's last year. He is retiring at the end of the year. So we are going to love on him as much as we possibly can this year, and send him out with a bang. He has been working for this school as long as I have been alive. So a long time. So we just want to send him off with as much love as we possibly can. Okay, so discipline, here's how this works. On top of loving your children and praising them and giving all the positives, sometimes I do have to put my administrative disciplinary hat on. So here's the guidelines that all of the junior high teachers follow. This is also outlined, like I said, in our junior high handbook. First offense, we usually give a verbal warning. So we're just going to kindly ask you to please correct your behavior. We also have a behavior binder in all of our classrooms. It looks like this. The students are all very familiar with it. My 6th graders, you will become familiar with it. But essentially, we may ask your child after giving a verbal warning to please sign the behavior book. That just lets us know and lets them know that they have been verbally warned. There is proof that they have been verbally warned, because with 140 students, it is very hard to keep track of who I have politely asked to stop talking. So there is record of it on there. And so that's just a quick check reminder for them to let's fix our behavior. They may also be asked, depending on the behavior, to attend an R&R. This is a new thing that we are putting in place this year, and it stands for Respect and Reflect. This would be if your child is exhibiting disrespectful behavior, we're going to ask them to go eat their lunch with Mrs. Painter, and we are going to talk about and reflect on our behavior so we can move in a more positive direction. Nothing with an R&R goes on their behavior record. I will most likely send home like a little slip for you to sign just so you know that the behavior occurred. And we're going to hope that missing out on their very coveted lunchtime was enough for them to turn their behavior around and act like Christ. Second offense, your child may be issued a demerit. This is something that is logged and tracked on RunWeb. You will receive an email. All the junior high teachers receive an email, and and administration receives an email. That way we are all in the loop on what is going on with your child's behavior. The nice thing about being in a private school is that we are able to be a family and be on the same page to help grow our children up in Christ. A third offense, if your child receives multiple demerits, you get 3 demerits, which accumulate, 3 strikes, you're out to a detention. Detentions are held after school, they're 45 minutes long, and at that point we do ask your child to write a 250-word essay as to what their behavior was and how they can do better next time. So 3 cumulative demerits equal a detention, and or behavior was unfortunately severe enough to just jump straight to a detention. And the handbook will outline what those behaviors entail. If it is a more serious offense, it will go straight to administrative referral, where we will get you in the loop as parents of the child, and or if there are other children involved, you as parent will also get notified, and then behavior will be determined after that, depending on, again, the severity of the offense. Okay, we're a team, so let's work together, okay? I'm gonna give you guys the benefit of the doubt, and if you can give us the benefit of the doubt, we are all human, we are all trying our best. I would like us to be able to have open lines of communication and listen to each other and reach out when we need something. We are always here for you and to support you and your students, whatever that may be, whether that's personal, home life things, or whatever's going on campus, please reach out. But with that being said, if we can follow a bit of a chain of command. First, reach out to your student's teacher. More importantly, ask your child to go talk to their teacher. We're building that sense of independence. It's very important. And so ask your child to go talk to their teacher. If that's not working, you can reach out via email to the teacher to set up a meeting or to get clarification on something. If that still isn't working, you can get me involved. And or we can talk to Mr. J or Dr. Pettinger. Usually the 3 of us work very much in tandem, so if you're looping me in, they're probably looped in, and or vice versa. Email your homework teacher, forward it to the junior high team, because we're all a team, okay? So if you email something to your student's homeroom teacher, like, hey, so-and-so's has this medical issue going on, is there any way we can allow them to use the restroom as they need? Totally fine. Your homeroom teacher will loop in the rest of the junior high team. That is the nice thing about being on such a small campus, is we all pretty much know everything that's going on. And then if you ever need to get a hold of me, there's my email. It will also be on your child's schedule card along with my syllabus and in the handbook and everywhere else. I try my best to respond within 24 to 48 hours. I do set boundaries after 5 p.m. and on my weekends, because my husband needs me as well. But I really do try my best to be available to you all. Okay, let's put the negative aside and move into the positive round. I also love to have so much fun with the kids. And so this is where I really thrive in my job. And so I love to have a fun space where these junior hires can be themselves and make memories. And so part of that is that I am in charge of junior high events. So there will be a calendar that will be sent home with junior high specific events. It is already posted on the website if you'd like to take a look on that and get your planners all filled out. But we usually have at least one event per month that's like a junior high social. That is just an extra fun thing. There is no obligation to participate or attend or do anything of this sort, but it happens at lunchtime, so everyone is already here on campus. We do things like water balloons and ice cream socials and gingerbread building houses, and sometimes it's relay races, and sometimes, this, that, and the other. We also have quarter kickback. That is an event that we do at the end of every quarter to celebrate all of our students' academic success and just give them a little bit of a break. For the quarter kickback, that one you do have to qualify by receiving A's, B's, and C's on your report card. And so those can include, sometimes we walk to the park, sometimes we go to John's over here and we get breakfast. At the end of the year, we go to Knott's Berry Farm. This year, we're gonna go bowling. Thought I'd try something different. We also have done bounce houses, so there's a bunch of different things under the sun there. In October, we do Club Rush. So the students, along with teachers, host clubs. So they get to create whatever club they want to create, and then they ask a teacher, will you be my supervisor of my club, so that we make sure everyone's being safe. And the students get to run with it. So clubs vary from year to year, just depending on what the student interest is. But we have a knitting club, an adventure club, a paddleboard club, a Nintendo club, a dance club, a junior high news broadcast club. There's clubs all over the place. And so they just have to fill out a form, get it approved by me, have a supervisor, and then they're free to have a club. And then we usually have a junior high dance once a year. That's usually in the springtime. We have a Mr. T usually and his wife, who is an actual DJ. They DJ for us. We got a photo booth. We get the Kona ice truck here, and we have a great time. So this year, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to send out one event flyer per quarter, and it's going to outline all of the events in that quarter, and then you will sign off on it, and you can volunteer for whichever event you would like to volunteer for as a parent. And then you can just turn in one check instead of $3 and $5. I'm like, why this genius thought never occurred to me sooner? I don't know, but here we are. And then I usually will also email out monthly, like a very vague newsletter of, hey, here's what's going on in junior high, just so you have it kind of on your cell phone. And then we like to award students and recognize them whenever possible. So we do Student of the Month, and those are determined based on those school goals that I went over earlier at the beginning of this session. We do Silver and Gold Honor Roll at the end of every quarter, birthdays, and then we also do Positive Behavior Ticket Drawings. So all the junior high teachers have tickets in their classrooms. They get put into a jar weekly, and then we pull out, maybe we'll have to increase it this year, but we usually pull out at least 6. The idea is 3 per grade level, but it doesn't usually work out like that. 2 per grade level. Math. Good thing I'm not the math teacher anymore, right? Okay. 2 per grade level, and the coupons can equate to free snacks in the student store, a free dress pass, listening to music on your Chromebook, get out of running the mile. So I kind of take student feedback and then we go from there. Sometimes it's extra credit on a test, sometimes it's dropping your low test score, sometimes it's lunch on me. Usually if it's food related or getting out of work, the kids are all about it, so that's usually what I go for. But so we like to have fun in junior high as well. Okay, I did go through, or all of these policies are outlined in the summer mailer that went home, so I'm just gonna kind of go through it super quick, but please read through that. Cell phones, they must be checked in at your student's homeroom. We have locked little boxes and a slot for your child's cell phone to be specifically. It should be in there. You should not be texting your student in the middle of the day. If they're texting you, that means they did not follow school rules. And it creates a lot of problems and issues and distractions in the classroom. So please encourage your child to turn their cell phone into their homeroom as they should be doing. Smartwatches, they should be in airplane mode. They are only to be used for telling time and or tracking their fitness during PE. So your child should not be calling or texting you off of their smartphone or their smartwatch. If they need to get a hold of you, all they need to do is ask us, hey, can I call my mom really quick? And we will totally let them either take out their cell phone or call from the school, okay? But please do not contact your child on their mobile devices during the school day. Call the office and we will get the message to you or to their homeroom teacher. The office is really great about that. Chromebooks, every child is given a school-issued Chromebook. It should and only be used for school-related purposes with school-approved websites. I do go through and history check, and so sometimes your child may get their Chromebook revoked if it is not being used appropriately. We are trying our best to grow up our students in this crazy day and age that we are in of technology, and so we are giving them the opportunity to be responsible and to learn how to responsibly use technology, but sometimes we gotta put some better bumpers up for them. And you'll be in the loop of that. Also, you guys as families are responsible for any damages to Chromebooks outside of natural wear and tear. So if your child drops their Chromebook and shatters their screen, you will be getting an email letting you know, hey, your child's Chromebook went out for repair. And then you'll see the charges on your RedWeb account. Okay, sorry you guys, I have a lot to go through. PE, this is also in your policy sheet, but your child either has PE on Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday. They do not need to start wearing their PE uniform to school until after Labor Day. So your first 2 days of school, it is free dress. You do not need to show up in your PE clothes, okay? Carline. We as junior high need every minute possible in our school day to educate your children. We have PE now happening at 3 different times during the day because we are so blessed to have added an extra 8th grade class this year. And so because of that, we have core academic classes now going on during 7th period, which means we need every second possible to make sure that your child is getting their language and math and history and science and Bible and Spanish curriculum. So we will not be dismissing junior high students until 3 o'clock, which means at the very earliest, they will not be out at Carline until 3:05. So please, as a junior high parent, it is in your best interest to not even show up to the school until like 3:10 or 3:15 when there's no one in Carline because all the elementary kids have exited. If you have an elementary student, your junior higher will go stand with them, okay, and we will make sure that they get put in the car together. Carline time is going to be extended now until 3:20, so you have enough time, the same amount of time that you previously did, to pick up your child, okay? But just so you know, 3:05 is the new Carline time, and that is universal for the entire school. I'm just letting you know, if you know your child walks like molasses, you may want to get here at 3:15. We are going to be giving all of your children today a Carline pass. This is a Carline placard. It needs to be hung in your car when you come through Carline. This is for safety and security to make sure that we get the right children in the right cars. It also helps Carline move more quickly and efficiently, okay? Last thing on Carline, if you can please make sure to keep pulling all the way up. Our goal is to get cars off the street as fast as possible. And so we will bring your child to you. Just keep moving all the way up in the line and we will get them to you. We also are only doing one Carline this year. So previously, junior high used to be out in the middle of the parking lot. We're all gonna be on this sidewalk So just the one side of Carline, okay? 2 lines, but one side. Does that make sense? You guys see heads nodding, so I'm gonna go, we're cool. Okay, Google Classroom. All right, I'm going to give you a very quick tutorial on Google Classroom. And if you need more instruction, then come see me or come see your child's homeroom teacher. So Miss Austin, if you can click on the home first. All right, when your child logs into Google Classroom, it's going to look something like this, okay? Each of your child's classroom teachers have a Google Classroom. This is what you need to be going to for all of their assignments that are posted online, okay? Paper cannot be put online. Digital assignments are online, okay? We'll go through that a little bit different. But their homeroom screen should look something like this. You should see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are the periods in which your child has that class, okay? If you click underneath home, there's calendar. That is going to show up, there's nothing there, but you will be able to see when all of your children's assignments are due in the calendar view. Each of us junior high teachers are a different color. If you notice, all of my circles are black. That means social studies assignments are all in black. Each teacher also has their own color, so it's easier for you to differentiate. Thank you, Mr. Graham, wherever he is. We worked that out last year. Okay, if you click into a child's class, let's go to SS6A, perfect. Yep, okay. This is going to be your child's stream, okay? If you see a little bit down here, there's going to be a class code. This is going to show up on your child's schedule card that they are getting today. Go ahead and log into all of your Google Classrooms over the weekend, and then you're connected. We will make sure that they're all logged in on the first day of school, but that's there. The stream, think of that as a Facebook feed, okay? When we post something, it pops up in the time that we posted it. So it's a hot mess, and it is not organized. And your child is gonna go, I can't find any of my work. And I'm gonna ask them, did you look on the stream, or did you look in classwork? And then they're gonna go, oh. So, for you as a parent, get them in the habit of looking in classwork. So, classwork is right here. These are gonna be nice and organized in all your topics that you need. Every teacher, if you can go back to the top, sorry. Every teacher, the first thing on their Google Classroom is going to be weekly agenda. This is organized by quarter, week, and date, okay? Usually Google Classroom goes backwards, so things stack on top of each other. So the most recent things should be towards the top of your classwork. If we click in, let's go maybe quarter 4, week 6. Let's try that one. April, what were we doing? Sure. Okay, so we'll scroll down. So see where it says view material, we're gonna click on that. And in social studies for 6A, you can see that we were working on our country research projects. And then in Google Classroom, GC, we were in chapter 11, Quizlet Study Guide, and I had your due dates there. So I outlined for you what we did in class and when things are due. Every teacher does this in the same exact manner. So when your teacher, or when your child tells you, I don't have any homework, this is a good place for you to go check, okay, these weekly agendas. Let's go back to classwork. Okay, if you keep scrolling down in this Google Classroom, you're gonna see different topics pop up. And then we're gonna keep going down, 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 down. There's your bell work. This is just for social studies. I also have the textbook posted when your child says I can't find I forgot my book in my locker. Projects, and then everything underneath that is organized by chapter. So if on the weekly agenda it says chapter 11 or chapter 13, everything that you need for the week, we're gonna pause right here, is listed right here, okay? The last thing I want you to note are these icons. The first one is a bookmark. That is a material. That would be like as if I handed you a physical piece of paper, a material, okay? That means there's something there that I want you to go look at, but we're not turning anything in. It's just something that I need you to use, or when it's 8 p.m. on a Sunday and I can't find my worksheet, you can go print a new one at home. Okay, so I try to put everything in paper digitally also, and the other teachers are pretty good about doing that as well. The icon below that is a clipboard. Click one more down, sorry, that one's great. Yep, it's a clipboard, so we can click on that. That is an assignment. That means something is due that you have to digitally do online and submit online. Okay, I unfortunately only have the teacher view, but if you were to go in there to view material or view instructions or assignment, it'll pop open for you, and then there will be a submit button. Okay, if your child is not turning in their work, they will have a bunch of things that are missing. Those missings are a problem. We should be having a conversation with our child as to why is this all showing up missing, okay? We do grade things on Google Classroom, but those grades are then exported into RenWeb. So here's where I want you to be careful, which is our student information system. It is also referred to as FACS sometimes. Here's where I want you to be careful. Your child's Google Classroom grade is not their true grade in the class. It is only a picture and snapshot of what their digital Google Classroom grade is. But they're also getting points for maybe participation and projects and physical things that they're turning in that are not digital. So if their Google Classroom grade is not exactly what you want it to be, I'm going to encourage you to go check RenWeb Facts. Okay, cool. Google Classroom, we good? Okay, hopefully that covered it. Awesome, fantastic, moving on here. I'm sorry, you guys have a lot to talk about. All right, now let's talk about social studies. So let's get to the other part of my job. Do we need a stretch? Are we okay? We're good? Okay, all right. So I do teach 6th, 7th, and 8th grade social studies. So I'm going to kind of move through this quickly because I will send home a very detailed syllabus that you can read through later. But 6th grade is ancient civilizations and world history. So we start from the beginning of time, basically, to the Roman Empire. And then in 7th grade, we go to medieval and early modern times, world history. So that is the Roman Empire all the way through the Renaissance. And then 8th grade, we jump to U.S. history, and so we study independence all the way through 1914. Cool. Here are all the topics that we cover, but again, this is covered in my syllabus, so you will get a very detailed outline of this. Helping your students, please read your child's syllabus because there are lots of good information in there. The biggest thing, especially with my 6th grade students, parents, please help them get organized. Go through their binder with them nightly, at least for the first month or so, okay? Get systems in place of here's the work that is due, here's what you need to turn in. Take the time to put your stuff in the correct section before you move to your next class. All these tiny little things just to help set them up for success. And then once you feel like they've got a good grip, then let them fly and be independent, okay? Attendance. It is super important that your child is here every day and on time. We start school at 8:20. We usually let the kids roll in at 8:15 so that we can start class at 8:20. If they're sick, please keep them home. We don't want your cuties. But other than that, please make sure they're at school. If you're going to be going on a family trip or something of that sort, I love it. Family time is so important. Just communicate with us and we'll work with you and get stuff worked out. I feel like we are never unreasonable and we are always happy to help with whatever those needs are. I kind of went through this already, but check Facts/RenWeb every single day. Make your child also can log in. They have their own personal login that does not include your financial information. And they can log in and see lesson plans that are posted, that weekly agenda, and they can see their grades. If your child has a 0 on an assignment, that means it's missing. So ask them where it is, okay? Give it a few days. The teachers try to get our grades updated weekly, and if it's still a 0, then there's a problem, we need to get involved, okay? The more on top of the grades you are, the less likely your child's going to be having academic and or failing problems. I tell all my students at the beginning of the year, you can't fail if you just turn your work in. So make sure their work is getting turned in. We also tell them late is better than not at all. Some points are better than not at all. So staying on top of checking all of that is super helpful. My expectations, I like an alliteration if you haven't noticed already. So prepared, positive, polite, prompt, and patient is what I expect out of my students. and their participation points are pretty much based on this, along with how actively participating in class that they are. Okay, my grading. Assignments are 30%, participation is 5, projects are 30, and tests are 35. This is an all-school policy. If your child is absent, they have 2 days for every 1 day that they're absent. If they are absent for an entire week, reach out to us. We are happy to work with you and get it done as long as there's a plan in place and things are being turned in a timely manner. Okay, I don't need anyone to go over the edge because we are so stressed about getting caught up with work. We will work with you. Just communicate and have your child communicate. If every teacher does have a little bit of a different policy with missing or late work, so you'll want to refer to your teacher's syllabus for that. Myself in particular, as long as your assignment is in before I start grading, it's not late. But once I have sat down and taken time to grade, if it's turned in after that, I will dock points for it being late. But then you play the game of roulette of when is Mrs. Painter gonna start grading, right? Some days I'm really on it, and some days it takes me a few. Retake tests. Every child in every class can retake a test that they receive below a 70% on. Okay, so any failing test in any class, your child may retake. It is up to your child to come talk to their teacher to schedule a retake. Okay? This is the part of them building independence and taking responsibility for their grades and their learning. They need to come set an appointment with us to retake that test, and then we average the 2 scores. And that is what goes into the grade book. All right, Washington, D.C. is the one field trip that I oversee and cover. This is for our 8th grade students. It's from March 22nd to 27th. We did already have the informational meeting on this last May, so if you missed it, please reach out to me. I can send you the recording for that trip. All right, last thing, and I'll get off the stage, and y'all are sick of me. National Junior Honor Society is an on-campus group. It's a premier organization established to recognize outstanding middle school students. So we right now currently have about 30 National Junior Honor Society members. They are basically like an ASV or student government, if you will, on our campus. This is a club and or honor society that students have to be accepted into, and part of those requirements is that they must maintain a 3.5 GPA. They must have outstanding behavior and character, and then they must also accumulate 40 hours of community service per year. We break it down into 10 hours per quarter. So what does that look like if your child is interested in that? After the first quarter, I will send home a letter to anyone who is not a current member and received a 3.5 GPA saying that they are eligible for membership. If they so choose to proceed, they will fill out an application online. The committee board will meet about those applications, and we will accept your child as a new member, or we will politely say, we don't think you're quite ready yet. Here's what you can work on for next year. Once they're accepted as a new member, they go through a probationary period. That is the entire second quarter. We are looking at them, at their behavior, and to see if they can also maintain their grades. If both of those check out, they pass their new member period, and then at late January, they are inducted into NJHS, and then they are a member of our chapter. And they get to continue being a member of our chapter so long as they maintain their grades, they achieve their community service hours, and they maintain positive behavior. It is a very competitive process, and we usually only select 10, if not less, students per year to join in on that. So if you have any questions, you can see myself and or any of the NJHS students. They are wearing shirts today, and we'll be helping out with registration. This one? Okay, woohoo, made it. Any questions? Fantastic. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the floor over to Mrs. Miller, who's gonna catch us up on time so we can get you out of here fast. Okay.
There are 3 seats up here, 4 seats up here. If you are getting tired of standing back there. All right, so I need to see my slides. Wrong direction. At least I know which way the arrow goes now. All right, I am Mrs. Miller. I teach English Language Arts, and that is the only thing I'm teaching this year. I'm kind of excited. All right, we have some pictures of my family here. Both my older daughters actually went to Grace. Actually, I've been hanging around Grace for more than a quarter of a century. I have older children. My oldest kid, she is way over, she and her husband are way on the right of that picture. She actually defended her thesis and has a PhD in physical chemistry with an emphasis in laser spectroscopy, which is, I know, it's highly exciting because like we can't even say that around the table. We're like, it was laser what? And that is my first grandchild up there. Isn't she adorable? All right, I went to Biola, so I have a degree for secondary English. And I have been here at GCS for 5 years as a teacher. A couple years before that, I was a substitute. And I am very excited to be living in Jersey here. All right, so a formula for you, better reading. It is better achieving. It is better vocabulary, better test scores, and it makes all your child's subjects easier. And it teaches empathy. The thing is, they don't want to read. They want to run. They want to be on TV. They want to be on YouTube. They don't actually want to read, but they will never have more time than they have right now to read. And I know I'm looking at some faces out there. Some of you guys are great readers. If all your child does is read, please convince them to go run. The rest of you, you know whose children they are, those are the ones you need to get them to read. So whatever you need to do as a parent to make their life boring enough that they actually crack a book, because there's no other options, please do that. Consider it your gift to them in junior high so that they can function better as a high school student. Because that's really what we're trying to do. We're trying to get them to function well as a high school student so that they're prepared and do well and can move on from there and be successful. All right, so percentages for 7th and 8th grade. We do reading, writing, vocabulary, and class participation. So tests and quizzes are 45% of your grade, classwork is 45% of your grade, and participation is 10% of your grade. In my class, there is homework. I do expect students to be reading a book outside of class all the time, and I expect them to be completing vocabulary assignments completely outside of class. We do not use class time for that. For 6th grade, it is tests and quizzes 40%, classwork 40%, participation 10%, and AR reading is 10% of your grade. So your kid's doing well, they've turned in all their things, and you're like, why are you still sitting at 80%? Perhaps they did not take any AR tests yet, and they should maybe fix that. My 6th graders do spelling, and they do it completely outside of class. So 6th graders will be picking up a spelling book from me today. All the other books we use in my class, we use them in class and turn them back in. We don't take them home because they're heavy and annoying. We will be doing a bunch of novels. So next week when they come into my class, we'll do a syllabus, and you'll know which novels I need you to purchase. I need them to be like at school before the end of September. They'll have the date on their syllabus next week, the one that you have to sign. So I'll know you got to see the date. All right, ways to help your student. Number 1, encourage reading. Let them see you read. You know, we kind of forget, like we all got to our age and we're like, oh, look, I know how to read, it's fine. But maybe we don't read in front of them, maybe they don't see that. So maybe model it for them. And then supplies. I don't know about your children at your house, but at my house, my children typically let me know they needed a poster board at 9 p.m. the night before the poster was due. I don't typically find that to be a great time to get a great deal on a poster board. You're stuck with whatever you can get after 9 p.m. at Target or Walmart or Walgreens or whatever. So I suggest you keep poster paper where they don't know where it is so that you can just whip it out when they say, I have an assignment due tomorrow. Printer. I do ask students to print things on a regular basis. So it is a blessing to me if you have a working printer at home and it has ink and it has backup ink. Because of course they only run out of ink at 11:30 the night before they're supposed to turn something in. And they're deranged because it's past their bedtime, and you're deranged because it's been a day, and nobody needs that in their life. So It's August, there's time, go get some printer ink now. All right, any questions for me? All right, we're a quiet bunch. I am going to hand it off.
Oh, it's Mr. Caselli. All right, I'm Mr. Caselli. I'm a science teacher here for junior high. And look at all the kids going nuts over there. Just chill out. I gotta go fast. I'm the guy that will sit here and talk forever. See, look, I'm already going. All right, I was in the United States Marines from 1975 to 1990. I was a ranger with the Boy Scouts of America. I was with the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department of Search and Rescue and as a line reserve. I worked at Sports Relay as a scuba manager and actually department head and all that kind of stuff. And got my bachelor's degree in interdisciplinary studies at National University. I first started teaching at St. James in 2016 to the present, and now I'm here. Yahoo! Moving along. In case you didn't know, I do like to go hit mountains on top of mountains. I've kind of reached a peak. Get the joint on that. I was going to Mount Laguna. I saw, not Laguna, but Mount Shasta, and I'm 66. Now I'm 67. My body was talking to me. It says, you better chill out, boy. So I'm starting to chill out. I still like doing all that. That's my godson there. Those are 3 different peaks in the Sierras, all 14ers. Here we go. That was the Shasta adventure. That's where I stopped at 10,000 feet and said, I'm done. I'm making base camp, and that's it. You guys go summit, and I'll chill. But I was out of gas. All right, this is scuba diving. I do like to do that. I do a thing with the Youth Activity League with the LA County Sheriffs. Put your hand up. Where are you? Where'd you hide at? Come on, Blake. Come on, Blake. Put your hand up. You got certified this year. His brother also had a little captain certification. They were all in the water, so that was looking pretty good. That's actually me teaching the class with YAL. And here's the other crazy thing I like to do is mountain biking too. Okay. Yeah. That's over in Marshall Canyon, where I received all of my injuries. Now that I'm kind of thinking about it, I did a collar, my elbow here, and everything. It's always in Marshall Canyon, so I'm not riding as crazy as I used to. Again, I'm recognizing that I'm 67. And here we go. Let's talk about junior high now. Students will study science, and then we provided a text. They will have support online by watching videos and the such. I also will be conducting labs to support the subject that we are actually studying. Students will need to take notes on the subject matter, all right? This is, it'll come up about a notebook. There's a notebook, and then there's notebook paper, okay? A notebook and notebook paper. So if you have a composition book, that's great for notes, not for turning in assignments. One more time. That's great for notes, not turning in assignments. So assignments that get turned in will be actually on notebook paper, all right? Point of contacts right there. Usually give us about a 24-hour time to response. I cannot fix if I do not know, all right? So if all of a sudden it comes in the quarter saying, I'm going to say, I didn't know. You didn't say something to me. Or the child would say something because they're so scared because I'm so big and scary. Okay? Come and talk. Here we go. Here are the classes. They're short and sweet. All right, 6th grade. Earth science. That's the famous volcano eruption. We have a mapping compass that I do, and I go crazy about mapping compass because I'm an awesome navigator in the mountain backcountry, all right? So I kind of do that. We have weather, climate, plate tectonics and volcanoes, and then ecosystem. That's just a touch on things, okay? 7th grade, we're going to talk about cells and viruses and bacteria, cell structures and plants, animals, and then the human body. That's right, 7th grade, that's the class, okay? I do have that, a letter goes out to the parents to make sure that they want us to discuss that. I will discuss it with the males. Another free member. This is, Yasser will be teaching the
Danger.
The girls, okay? So we're separated there. Next is 8th grade. Their subject matters will be matter, it's like physics, okay? They're teasing matter, states of matter, the elements, chemical reaction, acids and carbon, motion, and astronomy. Right there, they're actually building a train. That's kind of a fun side job I'll do too. We actually put train tracks and learn about surveying and all that kind of things, but it ties in all the subject matters of the science. And here are our tests. Mr. Graham, I want you to pay attention. I got that squared away for you. Last year, my numbers didn't count up right. All right? He said, how come there's two? Oh, wait, I'll guess later. So we're good now, all right? The test is worth 30%. I have quizzes, they're worth 25%. Participation and just being here and showing that you really want to do the science thing is like 20%. Projects are worth 25%, and they could be either group or individual type projects, all right? I'm going to do my best this year and hand out a project list so that you guys all see what's coming down the pipe. I try and do one a quarter, okay, of a major project, so you guys have something fun to look forward to. 6th grade, they go crazy over the volcano, okay? So it's something you can do, it's all there. All right, moving along. All right, field trips. 6th grade, right now you have coming up the line, it's gonna be Rawhide Ranch. That's right around the corner, that's October. Did I put the numbers there? There you did. October 23rd through 25, all right? The cost is roughly gonna be about $280. I need a females and male chaperones. I also need drivers. More information will be coming out about that. But 6th grade, this is like literally right around the corner. So start going to the bank and making your loans and doing all the things you gotta do, because it's gonna keep coming, all right? And I'm gonna get you going. All right, so that's 6th grade. In 7th grade, go to Catalina, hoo-ha. You know the water sport, I love that Catalina thing. All right, that's roughly around $355, okay, to go out there. And you're gonna need, again, 2 female chaperones, 2 male chaperones, and drivers to take us to the boat launch. All right, not drive across, okay? Just drive us to the boat launch and we get on the boat and we go across, all right? Myself and Mrs. Monty and Mr. Montoya will be going on that, right? Rawhide Ranch will be myself and Mrs. Matson will be going for that, all right? And I think I did it. Okay, do you guys have any questions whatsoever?
All right.
No questions back there, 8th grade? You sure?
Yeah, just let it go.
You're positive?
All right, that's
Okay, here we go.
Maybe then
My applause. Oh.
So my name is Mrs. Matson. I'm the math teacher here at Grace. I'll try to make this short, especially 7th and 8th graders. You guys have had me before, and it's pretty much the same thing because it hasn't changed since yesterday or since the summer. So let me just go over a few things about me. I won't be as entertaining as Mr. Caselli, but I'll do my best. So junior high math, that's what I am. I teach 6th grade math, pre-algebra, and then algebra for the 8th graders. A little bit about me, that's my family. I have 2 daughters. My husband Eric, we met at Westmont College up in Santa Barbara. There I got my math degree, and I taught for several years at Fullerton High School, for 15 years at Fullerton High School. And then I had my children, and I stayed home for a little while, and then I subbed here at Grace, and they asked me to come on staff and be a teacher. Now here I am, I'm teaching math. So this will be my 3rd year here teaching at Grace. So these are my math goals for my students. Number one, that they achieve success in math. To become more well-rounded and self-sufficient learners. We talk a lot about independence here in junior high, so that they're independent, they can start learning for themselves, prepare for high school, and then beyond high school, and then to become high-level problem solvers and critical thinkers. Okay, these are my grading percentages. It's pretty straightforward. 50% for test quizzes and projects, 25% daily assignments, and 25% notes. Now, for math, we will have notes and assignments almost on a daily basis, and assignments are turned in regularly, daily, so the students will check them. They'll make sure they're doing it correctly for mastery, and then they will submit those every day. So here are just a few tips for success. How can you help your child be successful? Number one, that they're present. Number two, that they do all of the work, okay? So that's 50% is just participation, taking the notes, doing the work, turning it in. That there's notes, homework, projects, particularly the homework, because that's where they're going to learn the material, is in doing the problems, actually understanding it. And if they don't get it, they need to come in and get help. They're making their corrections, and they're asking questions if they don't get it. So a lot of the times, what I notice in a lot of kids, they will do the work and they'll just turn it in because they want to get the work turned in, but they won't get it. So they have to, if they're not getting it, if they come in and just ask me, I'm always in my room at lunch. A lot of the students know that because I have a lot of students coming in to retake tests and quizzes, but they can come in and get help immediately if they don't get it. Usually it's like one question that they have and they're like, oh, that makes sense. Okay, I can get it. So that's usually what the problem is. And then the last thing I put is just practice, practice, practice. So that's why we do a lot of work in math, because there is a lot of practice. Math is more like a sport. It's like learning a musical instrument. It's not something you can just read and then take a test on and figure it out. You've got to sit down and actually do the work in order to get it. So if they're practicing it every day, and that's why they're going to be getting homework almost on a regular basis, unless they finish it in class. Sometimes you do get some time in class. It just depends on how long it takes to go over the lesson. As far as lessons go and absences go, there are, we had a wonderful teacher here at Grace, Mrs. Clark, who taught here for years, and she was one of the math teachers, and she recorded video lessons. Those video lessons are all posted on Google Classroom. So I will post the lesson, I remember, sometimes I forget, but try to do it the day before we're covering a lesson. That way they can go, students can look at it, or if they're absent, they can take notes off the video, and then they can do the assignment. So those are all posted on Google Classroom. Typically, I don't do assignments through Google Classroom because with math it's different. You have to sit down and actually work the problems out and then turn them in. So usually I'm mostly posting material on Google Classroom. Projects are posted, but assignments are not. Assignments and tests in particular are not posted on Google Classroom. So this is what they're going to be studying each year. 6th grade math builds on, it uses the same curriculum that they learned in 5th grade. So 5th grade was the Scott Forsman mathematics book, and 6th grade is the same publisher. So they will be doing, mainly they're building what they did the year before in 5th grade. So a lot of what we do in the beginning of the year is a review, and then we'll build on concepts that they already know about. So fractions, decimals, percents, everything's in there. All of this is included in the syllabus too. So if you have questions on it, or if you want to come and see me too, I'm in room 24. At any time, you can email me, you can call me. I respond really quick. So 7th grade, they start pre-algebra. So again, we'll start out just kind of going through like, okay, what have you learned before? And then we're gonna build on that, and they'll start solving equations, and then they get into it a little bit more. And then algebra, they start getting into algebra, where they solve quadratics by the end of the year, and you're like, I don't remember. But they start doing that stuff by the end of algebra. And if you have, this is all in the syllabus again, so if you want me to outline it in more detail, I can email you, or just email me, I can email you back, or come by and see me. Yeah, so again, I'm in room 24. If you have any questions, please come by. Every child is different. They learn at different levels. And every child has a different need. So especially if your child has a specific need, if they struggle in something, come and see me ahead of time and let me know. And then that way I can start working with them at the beginning of the year to make sure, okay, they're not falling behind, that they can understand it. So, all right, Mrs. Monty is next. Hola. Here I am. All right. I speak Spanish, I speak really fast, and I can do this. Ready? All right. Okay, a little bit about me. I've been an educator since 1992. Yes, I'm very old. Not as old as Joe. But I have taught pre-K, kindergarten, 5th grade, 6th grade, 5th and 6th grade Spanish at my previous school. And this is my 4th year at Grace and my 3rd year teaching in the junior high. So I do Spanish, and I also do the elective of drama for the 6th graders and drama club for the upper grades. So I have been with my husband, it'll be 34 years this October, and we have one adult son, and we also have my mom who lives with us, who will be 90, and she doesn't look it, no one ever believes her, she's quite active. But she's a lot of fun. My family came here from Argentina back in the 60s with my brothers, and I was born here, but Spanish was my first language growing up, and it is still the primary language I speak at home with my mom. So my husband and I are also in worship and drama ministries. We've been doing that for over 35 years, and I'm also in women's leadership at my church, so very active. I'm gonna get started on my class. All right, so in this course, we will combine several methods of learning and acquiring the Spanish language, okay? Mastering a foreign language takes years of hard work, and no, you know, your kids are not gonna be like, hablando español mañana. No, it's not gonna happen, okay? So it's all in practice and dedication. We will use familiar childhood stories and books to practice accents and verb tenses and writing translations. Conversations will be encouraged as we work on phrases and verb conjugations each week. All right, so there is no main textbook for my class, okay? So we use several different resources, styles, experiences, and teachings in this class. I use several workbooks, online resources, videos, and games to engage the students as much as possible. Your kids will be coming home and talking about Senior Wooly, and that's a really fun thing that they really enjoy, and so you're gonna hear a lot more about that later. For Spanish, each student must have the college-ruled composition. Oh, there that goes flying. Notebook. This is most important. The kids follow me when I do things on the overhead, and if it is not college-ruled, they get very frustrated. Mine is wide-ruled. I'm not on the same page. I need an extra page. Please, please, I am begging you, make sure that it is college-ruled, the stitch-bound. We don't do the spiral-bound. The kids take them apart. The wires come out. They're poking each other. It gets all connected. It's a mess. They have to be these. This is what I ask for. They keep them in class. They do take them home to study from, but this is the one thing that we use almost biblically in our classroom. So upper grades will testify that if you get a wide ruled, you get really frustrated because you are then not following along with me, and it gets really hard. But we do a lot of work in this throughout the quarters, and it gets graded every single quarter as well. It is part of that. So one thing I do ask, please make sure it is college ruled. Okay, they'll also need a section in their regular big binder to be able to keep all of their papers and things like that. All right, so a syllabus with all this information is going to be going home the first week of school, so you are going to see a lot of this repeated, and so you'll know exactly a little more detailed as I talk through all of this. But I do ask that you go through it with them, acknowledge it, sign it, and return it on the due date. All right, I do not expect any student to master the Spanish language. That's just not gonna happen. Okay, my goal is to enrich them with the basic knowledge of Spanish, okay, and perhaps be able to use it in the future for either going out on a Spanish ministry trip, missionary trip, or to be able to put it as their, on their resume that they speak a little Spanish, okay? Each student will be evaluated according to where they are. I know that in elementary, there's been some years where you guys had a little bit of Spanish and then no Spanish. I will meet each student as they are. I have kids that have had, this will be their 3rd year with me in Spanish, and 8th graders who are brand new, never had it.
So my goal is to see where they're at and meet them where they're at. So I'm not gonna be like strict on them saying, sorry, you haven't had your 2 years of Spanish, you're gonna fail my class, too bad. And that's not my style. Okay, so each student will be evaluated according to where they are. We have, so please don't worry about that. That is just not my thing. Participation and behavior is huge in my classroom, and they are given weekly points for that. Okay? So this is my grade scale. It's the same for 6th through 8th grade. Participation and behavior is 20% of the grade. Graded worksheets and video assignments, composition notebook that I just showed you that needs to be college ruled. Did I say it needs to be college ruled? How about college ruled? All right. And our read alouds that we do in class are 35% of their grade, and then their test quizzes and projects are 45% of their grade. All right, so in a nutshell, here's kind of what we cover, and this is not an exhaustive list of the things that we go over in Spanish. Now, we start with the 6th grade, and then we build on to the 7th, and then we build on to the 8th, and we do a lot of different things. We read novels. There's a lot, and that will be on the syllabus as well, so I'm just not gonna read all this. But there it is, there's 6, 7, and it builds and builds and builds, and we go through each thing. All right, so some projects that will be done, primarily done in class, and maybe a little bit at home. Okay, this is also not exhaustive as well. 6th grade does a country project, and then all the classes do an end of the year spoken final. We did this last year, we're gonna be building on that this year as well. 7th grade will be doing a Spanish country travel brochure or a culture poster, Spanish recipes. 8th grade does a country slideshow, Mi Familia Loca, which is the crazy family tree. And then El Mercado is our big project for 8th grade that they do as a group. It's a lot of fun. The kids all participate in this it's in like springtime. Okay, and then a novel poster if we have time, and then the final as well. Okay, all the novels and all the readers are only done in class. I'm not sending it home. They're not gonna be reading Spanish books at home because we do all the reading and comprehension in class. So no need to worry about that. ¿A dónde estoy? Nope. I'm not done. Let me go back. Hold on. Okay. Students are responsible to be prepared with all necessary supplies. This is something we've all talked to you guys about. Mrs. Painter has already talked to you about going into facts, making sure that they are on their My Late work. They will receive a reduced grade of 20%. This is subtracted from their final score on a worksheet. Okay, late work will not be accepted after the deadline. We do have deadlines at the end of the quarter. If you do not make that deadline, then it will be a 0. If they have a missing or incomplete assignment, it will be posted as a 0 in there until they get it turned in. So parents, again, please make sure you are checking facts and REMWEG so you're aware of any work due and or missing, and then also on Google Classroom. Okay, so in my classroom we have different incentives. I have class privileges, tickets, and economic system. We use the Monty Mangos. Okay, so those of you who are in 7th and 8th grade, you guys know that the Monty Mangos is my money system. Not mangoes, it's not the fruit, it's mangos. It's a slang word in Argentina for like bucks, like money. So I have a money system and I give that out for different reasons, and the more they make, the better their experience at the market. And at the market, everybody speaks Spanish. There's no English. I know you still do it, I catch you, and then you get reduced points on your score. But at El Mercado, the 8th graders are the vendors, and so they learn a whole business and selling merchant thing with that. And then the 6th and 7th graders are the patrons, and they come and shop at their little mercado. And so we have that at the end of the year. A lot of fun. So more Monty Mangos, better experience all the way around. So. Muchas gracias. That is me. If you have questions, you can ask me a question now, or you can come see me in room 12 and ask me questions there. Questions? Questions? Preguntas? No? Okay, I would like to introduce the man, the legend. He exemplifies the fruits of the Spirit. Yes. This is Montoya.
Good morning. I'm Joe Montoya. I am the Bible teacher. This is my 2nd year doing it. And so sorry for all of you first were with me last year. I know better now. But 2 things, if you look in the book of Acts, chapter 9, It's a story of a guy named Saul who made it his mission to persecute Christians, and Jesus intercepted him on the road to Damascus. And in Acts chapter 9, Saul asked Jesus two questions. Who are you? And what do you want me to do? And those are the two main my goal with your student is that they get to know Jesus and they're trying to find out their purpose. What do I do, Lord? And so a little bit about me. Let's see if I know how to work this way. Wrong way. I went the wrong way the whole time. It's time for PE. That's me. I taught for 10 years in the public school, and most of it was like 4th grade, 3rd grade. And so when I went to junior high, I'm like, oh wait, these students are taller than me. What am I going to do? So it's been quite a journey for myself too. There we go. And I have 3 kids. They're all adults. I'm a parent of adults. And my 2, if you look at the top, my 2 twin daughters went to Grace, K through 8th grade, and are now sophomores in college. I've also been a kids pastor for 10 years. I'm not doing that anymore. I get to volunteer, which is really cool. And I'm also a small business owner, so I make coffee. I like drinking coffee. Now I make coffee for people. So what your kids are going to go through, your children, if they're a 6th grader, we're going to go through winning the race. That's our theme, which is basically, can you raise your hands if you're a 6th grader or a parent of a 6th grader? Okay. We're going to look at certain individuals in the Bible who faced adversity or challenges or disappointment, and they responded by putting their trust in God. So that's why it's called winning your race. And in 7th grade, we're going to really spend most of our time in the book of Proverbs, because we all need wisdom. Amen? And you parents, you'll be really happy because we spend a lot of time about respecting our parents. So yeah, you're like, amen, what did you learn? All right. And then 8th grade is like a survey, Old Testament, New Testament. Yeah, last year I barely made it to the end of the Old Testament, so hopefully those kids will give their lives to Jesus this year or in high school. So we're going to try to get through all the way to Revelation this year. And so basically what happens is we have a notebook. Help your child keep that notebook alive till the end of the year. I saw some pretty bad notebooks, workbooks by the end of last year. But it's great because it provides us the structure. It keeps me from going ADD, and I can get them through, hopefully. And the workbook will be the main thing. The other thing is, because I'm a mobile classroom, like I go from classroom to classroom, a lot of the work will be done, especially the projects will be done in Google Classroom. And then the other main thing that I'm adding this year is a composition book. So you can track your student there or Google Classroom. So here's our goals. Obviously I don't want it to just be a head thing, a brain thing. I want it to drop into their hearts. And my goal is that they become committed followers of Jesus Christ. And then you can tell I love working with this thing. Also, developing a personal devotional time, a time of reading God's Word, a time of prayer, or just a time of just being alone and quiet. If you can help as a parent, just help your child find that place. I live in a really small I live in a really small house, so my prayer closet is the bathroom. They're like, my family's like, what are you doing in there? You see me sleeping in the tub. But being in the bathroom helps me not fall asleep. But if you can provide your child a place where, hey, I need a space, I'll help you make a space for praying and reading your Bible. And also, I want your child to become more literate in the Bible, knowing where to find scriptures and how to talk about them. And then, there you go. Last point here is pursuing his or her role in the family, in the church, in the community. God's word tells us, so it's not a secret. So those are our goals. And then what's their part, your child's part, the student's part is to commit, because we'll do it every week. We'll have a scripture every week to memorize God's word. And at the end of last year, we got into our small groups, and I would like to continue that from the very beginning of this. You can tell I'm really fighting with this thing here. Being in a small group. And so, and then completing workbook assignments, essays, the Google assignments of the project. So that's their part. Your part, parents. Pray. Pray for your child. Pray. I used to be a parent, a Grace Christian parent of 2 young ladies, and I had to pray. I pray a lot now. A lot more now. And I'm into someone else's part. Also, ask questions and listen to their answers. Great tip, always try to find at least one, even if it's a 10-minute segment of the day, where you sit down with your child and just ask, what happened today? With that, you are also invited every Thursday to our chapel. So chapel is church at Grace Christian School, and we have junior high chapel at 10:45, is that the right time? 10:45, it runs about 45 minutes. Especially if you guys, parents, if you're not used to going to church, you can come here on Thursdays. We'll pray, we'll worship. We'll have one of the teachers or a guest speaker share God's word. And I think it's a really good time. And it will be time well spent. So you are invited every Thursday, 10:45. And a last minute add-on is I've been talking to Dr. Pettinger about starting a devotional for parents. So be looking for that, maybe something every week just to help you in your journey as a parent. I know I have kids. I mean, even though they're adults, I'm still their dad. But, you know, I had to pray. There's days that I was like, I hope they don't die, and I hope I'm not the reason why they die. So, sometimes we go in through those seasons. So you guys are invited. If there are no questions, I will be passing out workbooks out of room 20. Mr. Caselli allowed me to be his roommate one more year. And so I'll have their workbook for you. All right. Next up. Mr. G. Mrs. Gasser.
Painter.
One more piece of Mrs. Painter. Sorry, you guys, get me again. Unfortunately, Mr. T could not be here today, so I'm just going to cover PE super quick. So, what you need to know, as mentioned on the paperwork that was sent home, your child has PE Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday. On their designated PE day, they are to show up to school in their PE uniform. On non-PE days, they may wear their regular street clothes that are dress code appropriate. PE uniform is their red GCS PE t-shirt. They will get that at the registration tables today. And their black PE shorts also will be at the registration tables today. There is a big white rectangle on the front of their shirts and a smaller one on the bottom of their shorts. Please put your child's last name and their first initial. You can write the full name, first and last, if it all fits, but I know some of us have really long names, so last name, first initial is sufficient. That way, if you have a sibling at least the last name is big enough that you can pass those clothes down to sibling when your child leaves. On a cold day, your child, I'm sorry, hold on, rewind. Shirt, shorts, white, gray, black socks is the preference, and then a running shoe is the preference. We do not wear sandals on campus, so closed-toed shoes. We also do not allow Crocs on campus, just for safety reasons. So always closed-toed tennis shoes. But on a PE day, you will want to preferably wear some sort of athletic shoe so we don't end up with knee issues and things of that sort. On cold days, your child can put a sweatshirt over their PE shirt. They can also put a long sleeve under their PE shirt, depending on how cold or hot they typically get. The nice thing is to be able to take off the layers, so if the long sleeve is under, they can't get that off if they end up getting too hot. But same goes with the shorts. They can always put sweats over their shorts, or if it's really, really cold, they can just wear, like we know the sweats aren't coming off because we're that cold today. You can just wear your sweats instead of the shorts. Black sweats are preferred. If that's not an option, gray sweats or red sweats are your next preferable choices. Some students will put leggings underneath the shorts. That is fine as well, but just again, realizing that we don't have a space for them to take off those leggings if they do get too hot. We do not have a locker room here, and so that is kind of our alternative so that your students aren't changing on campus in an appropriate space. We just have them wear their PE uniforms to school. If you need an extra set of PE clothes, those can be purchased, an additional set on the first day of school, starting on the first day of school in the office. We want to make sure everybody gets at least their one set, and then you can purchase an additional set. I believe it's, Ms. Aru, are you in here? I should know this. Is it 20? Yeah, okay, so $20 for a full set, 10 and 10 if you're buying them individually. Any PE questions? Oh, Spirit Days. If it's a Spirit Day, your child does not have to wear their PE uniform. We want them to participate in the Spirit Day, so they are allowed to wear whatever the Spirit wear is. We typically just encourage them to at least have a shoe on so they can still participate in Spirit Day, PE during Spirit Day. Cool, awesome. And then there was an athletic paperwork that went home for coaching and things and all of that. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Mr. T regarding any sports teams and or PE uniforms or PE. Okay, I think we did it. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to invite our PST president up here. I'm gonna go ahead and send our, I'm sorry, last thought here. My 7th and 8th grade students, we're doing something new this year. When you get your schedule, you are going to see at the top of your schedule, you are either in 8A, 8B, 7A, 7B, and then you're gonna see a C and a D option. Halfway through your day, you are swapping classes and swapping peers. So you need to pay attention to your schedule because you are not with your homeroom for the entire day, okay? You're gonna mix it up halfway through the day. And we'll see if that creates more drama or less drama. I don't know, but we're gonna pilot it and see how it goes. But there's gonna be a change up. So please pay attention to your schedule. Don't just follow everyone in your homeroom when we start school, okay? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn this over to Miss Nikki Williams and Miss No. My junior high students, NJHS kids, go ahead and head out to the registration tables, please. And then I'm going to go ahead and dismiss our junior high students. Junior high students, listen, can I get a clap clap? 6th graders, you'll learn it, don't worry. Okay, please be patient with our NJHS students, okay? They are only human, they are trying their best. Okay, here we go.
Hello, everybody. Okay, so I guess we'll just give it a minute for the students to make their way. Junior high students, if you could head out the doors without making too much noise, that would be lovely.
Can I get a clap clap?
Very quiet, relaxing.
6th graders, you can also go unless you want to wait for your parent.
Okay, while our students are exiting, I'm just going to introduce myself. My name is Nikki Williams, and I am honored to serve you
PST president. I have with me Miss Sarah No. She is also joining us on our PST board this year. Also not present, they couldn't make it today, but Andrea Brochet is also going to be here. She is our head room parent, so she's going to be organizing all of the room parents that are engaging with the teachers and helping out the classrooms and all of that. And we also have Miss Mary Murphy. You guys probably remember Mary Murphy's name all the time, because she's super involved, really great lady. And she's going to be helping us plan our events on campus, off campus, restaurant nights, all that sort of thing. So just kind of diving into it, what PST does, if you have never participated in PST, we're the parent support team. We support our school. So we help raise funds, we put together fundraisers, we pull together the volunteers that can help. And let me just say, our job is to make this year the best year that it can be, the most fun for the students that it possibly can be. And we can't do that without volunteers. So we need you, we love you, we love volunteers. All of us, you know, we started, I think the oldest child that we have on the board is in 5th grade, right? Yeah, I think 5th grade. So we've all started our kids here very, very young. And how we got to know people is we just started volunteering. So I highly encourage you to volunteer, whether you've been here for a while or it's your first year here. Please come join us. Our first meeting is going to be September 12th. Yes, at 7:45. So just before drop off. That is a Thursday. So if you really hate that, you know, trash can taking your parking space, can't find anywhere to park to drop off your kid, come park on the grass and come hang out with us for a PST meeting for a few minutes. It'll be great. It's going to be lovely. So please come join us. We would love to talk to you about the events that we're going to be doing throughout the year. I see Stacy Neal is here. Like everybody is in here. Leah is in here. There's some super involved parents in junior high. So please come, please join us. The first opportunity that you guys are going to have to get involved is to be a room parent. So room parents, they have a pretty big responsibility. They are the ones helping plan the classroom parties. They're the ones getting the other parents in their grade involved. So highly encourage you. We do have a flyer right here, and it has a QR code. So if you're interested in being a room parent, please scan that QR code. And it's just a couple of questions on there. It tells us like what classroom your child is in, etc. Your email, so we can reach out to you. And that way Andrea can put you on the list and we can get that going for you. Also coming up is the carnival. So we're gonna be talking more about that at our PST meeting, so I hope that you all can join. But we do need volunteers for the carnival, and the more volunteers we have, the shorter the shifts are. So please come, please join us. It's gonna be a lot of fun. There's a ton of games. We're doing like high face situation. We've got delicious snacks and carnival food coming out. Tons of games, bouncy activities, stuff for the older kids. So please, everyone, feel free. And if you have any questions, you have any ideas, we are not a super exclusive, don't talk to us group. Like literally all of us love to jibber jabber. So please come up to us, come talk to us, share your ideas, share your concerns. We're happy to hear them. Okay? So yes, as you exit, we'll exit out that back door. We have this flyer for you. Please take one. It's got a couple things for you to scan on there to get some more information, ways to follow us. Oh, I forgot to mention the band. Okay, so does anybody in here use the band app? Okay, we have one or two people. Okay, so basically band is, it's essentially, it's like a Facebook group, but you don't need Facebook. Like it's literally just your phone number. You don't have to do a whole thing and have a profile. You don't need any of that. But it's where we can put up documents, we can put up flyers, we can make announcements. So anything that we do, of course, it always goes out with a flyer, it goes out with an email. We'll try to do a post on our social media as well. We have an Instagram page, but we will be posting on the band. So it's a great way to stay connected and get all the information that you need. Okay, so we'll be passing that out. And then also we have this year, we have volunteer waivers this year. So basically as you are volunteering, this is just to protect the school, just make sure these are actual volunteer, not a job or anything. You are going to be helping out our classroom and our school on a volunteer basis. So we'll have a couple of forms for, or this form for you guys and this flyer for you guys in the back as you exit. And I think that's about it for me. Do I need to pass this to Dr. P?
What's that? No, you can close them.
Okay, well that's it. Thank you so much, junior high parents, and we are really happy to have you guys.